All right, guys, so Greg Jones and I have been teaching for a combined over 50 years. And in today's video, we're gonna give you all of the tips that have stood the test of time, cut through all the BS, give you the things that actually work so you can chip the ball great for the rest of your life.
So, you know, we were all born with great touch, but we can't access that great touch if we don't hit it solid.
Oh.
So, yeah, if I strike it solid, I can pretty much control how far it goes. So I think that's just paramount in the short game, that you learn how to strike it solid.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few things you can do to guarantee that you hit it solid. You know, so solid contact is everything in short game. If you strike it solid, you can pretty much control how far it goes. And I think every one of us as individuals has to figure out how we strike it solid relative to ball position. Where do you grip on the club? Do you grip it down and do you get really close to it?
Right.
You know, what are the things that you have to do? Well, I've always thought that if you keep this club still and keep it moving, you've got a better chance.
And one of the things, Greg, today, as we're going here, obviously today's video, like the 50 years of combined coaching and the things that have stood the test of time and what doesn't matter that much. I think that's a really important point to start with, which is like everything rises and falls on the solid contact. And everything we're going to talk about today is based on that being priority number one. And I think in terms of order of like priorities, we're probably going to start in the follow through and then work our way backwards.
I think a lot of golfers think that the closer we get to the green, it is more touchy, feely. And a lot of golfers will think that's handsy. Well, I think the closer you get to the green, you'll get more out of your hands if you don't use them as much, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's kind of more of a body shot than a handsy shot. And I think a lot of golfers use too much hands down here, down around the ball. I also like to make sure that you get to this solid position right out here out front. And when I get to this solid position right out front right here, my left arm and the shaft is pretty much in a straight line. And I don't know about you, Eric, but I see a lot of folks that try to lift the ball off the ground and the club just kind of comes up and they get foldy in the wrist, they get foldy in the elbow. The club is not still and you've added loft and you probably didn't hit it solid.
Dangerous.
So
when we look at through the ball, we could almost categorize it in like two separate areas. There's like, what does the club and arms do? And then what does the body do?
Yes.
In either order. And so if we were to give some feels and checkpoints similar to that with the lead arm and shaft of where the club head, club face should be, maybe let's start there and then we'll add in some of the body feels.
Where do we want to take this club? And it depends on the length of shot or the length of the swing that we have to make. You remember the Y from earlier? We talked about the Y.
How can I forget, Greg?
So here's we got the Y again. I'm just going to keep the Y intact and I'm not even going to break the tail off going back. It's just going to be like a shoulder rock.
Yep.
I call it rock and pivot. I'm just going to rock my shoulders and barely pivot my body. And I've got all of this intact. The club was really still. It's not moving around a lot down here. So I'm not changing lofts and I'm not changing my angle of attack. And then as the shot gets larger and the swing gets larger, then it's a bigger move. And even though the left arm is still intact with the shaft, now I've turned. Come on.
Oh, that might be leaning in. That could be in actually.
So now I'm much more body facing the target here. So I had to bring this backside with me and kind of stand up just a little bit right here so I can face that target and move my arms a little bit further, all the while keeping this club face still from being handsy flippy through the hitting zone.
Yeah, so club face still, I like that. So as the shot gets longer, the body turn comes in to support that. Let's talk about that club face still and that right wrist angle you were telling me about.
If we want to keep this face still.
And when you say face still, what do you?
I don't want a lot of like flippy action right here.
Okay.
So watch what happens if I keep the butt end of the grip off my forearm. Look how still that face is. Yes. It is 60 degrees, it is 60 degrees, it is always 60 degrees.
Okay.
But if I don't, now I'm changing lofts. It might be 58, it might be 62, depending on where I strike the ground, right? So I want to keep this butt end off my forearm, and now it's a body shot. I've basically taken the hands out, which actually allows me to feel more touch in my hands. The less I use them, the more touch I have.
Okay.
So even though it's a short game shot that's touchy-feely, it's really a body shot.
Yeah.
It's just a rock and a pivot. I'm going to rock my shoulders and barely pivot.
So we're keeping the integrity of the Y. We're keeping the club face steady, right? Like sort of feeling like the loft is constant. And in terms of the body motions, I think there's a couple of key parts. One, you mentioned the turn, right?
Right. So I wanted, to keep this here, if you watch me do this, I am keeping the butt end of that grip off my forearm, but you see what I have to do that. I have to turn my body. If I leave this right foot down, I'm gonna get that.
Forget it.
So I wanna bring this right ankle, I wanna bring the right knee, I wanna bring this backside with me a little bit so I can maintain, as you say, the integrity of the face or the integrity of the loft.
Right.
If I leave that right foot down, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
And now I just added loft to it, it's gonna be short. I'm gonna scoop under and it's gonna be short if I don't scull it.
Right,
So, yeah. So we don't want that. So if I bring this right knee along, and I just have a little baby pivot.
And you like to have the right knee as sort of the trigger for some of the turn. I know you were telling me about the Tom Watson drill you saw.
I read an article as a kid about Tom Watson, who he imagined that he had a wooden peg, like a little peg off of his right knee right here. And then on the downswing and the through swing, his shaft would gather that peg and bring the right knee with him. Well, that's the only way we can keep this face and maintain that integrity, is to take that right knee. So you'll watch the right knee right here. See how it went with me? Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm off that back foot. I'm not staying down, which would cause me to flip it and chunk it and scull it and all kind of bad things.
Knee forward and rotating towards the target, the shirt buttons, kind of chest going along with it. And the last one, I know when we talk short game, I was saying turn and tall. So like as they're turning, a lot of the good chippers, you'll see if we drew a line on the top of their head, that they're actually extending up, right? Or getting taller. Again, it depends on the shot length and situation.
I think we're on the same page here, and I call it's kind of the connection right here. Like, you cannot get your fingers between my arm and my chest right here. Well, the only way for me to do that is to get that left shoulder up and tall, like you said.
Yeah, you're tall. Let's hit another one, Greg. And if we were to draw the line on the head, I think if I asked 90% of golfers, and me for a long time, I would say they stay level or even lower a little. And a lot of players who struggle with chipping really try and stay down too much versus there's some of that natural extension. If you draw the line on the top of Greg's head or a good chipper and pitcher, you would see that works up on the way through.
Yes, it's working up. Yes, absolutely.
I like that from a body motion perspective. You know, Martin Chuck would talk about if we put a line through the golf ball, right? If we put a line here through the golf ball and I were to put this kind of through the ball like this, right? Or maybe backwards so you could see it this way. He would say as that right knee's going forward, his belt buckle and his hips and lower body also go forward, right? There's a little pivot that goes on there. Not hanging back on the right foot with the foot on the ground.
Yeah. So here's what I call it rock, pivot, and blast shots off your score.
I like that.
Rock, pivot, and blast. So I'm gonna rock my shoulders, pivot, turn 3 shots into 2, and blast shots off my score. And I mean, I can control that distance.
Yeah. And like these are the things that have stood the test of time for us, right? Like focusing on solid contact, number one. B, focusing on the through the ball pieces.
Right.
Controlling the club face and the arms, right, that we talked about. Keeping that wide. The face stays still. The trail wrist being bent back. But in order to do that, we have to have the body motion support it, which we're having through the trail foot, the trail knee, and the upper body rotation. And as we're rotating through, not trying to stay or go down, but allowing a little natural extension.
I think a lot of golfers get in trouble with chipping because they're so worried about the ball and contact that they have no chance of finishing the pitching motion. And so they kind of get stuck at the ball, that yippy, chippy, yipping looks. It's a kind of, like electricity at the ball.
Yeah.
But where are we going? Where am I going with this club? I am taking this club to there. I want to put that club head right there. And I know this is a big assumption for a lot of people, but you have to assume you're going to hit it solid. You have to assume you're going to hit it solid. Yeah. If you don't, then you're assuming you're not going to hit it solid, chunk it and scull it. So I like to identify this finish position right here. And when I get that club right there, look where my chest is, look where my buttons are, right knee, all the things that got that club right there. So that's my focus, is to put that club right there.
On that finish line. Yeah, I like that a lot. If you're tired of hitting great shots on the range, but terrible shots out on the course, the Swing Coach app is exactly how you're gonna fix that. The new Swing Coach app uses AI to automatically detect the real root cause of your swing faults. Now, here's what makes this revolutionary. You get immediate audio feedback after every swing.
Hands at half down, steep by 1. Hands at impact, close by 1.
It automatically identifies your root issue. It then tells you on a scale of 1 to 10 how far off you are from neutral. Imagine knowing on every single swing instantly if you did it right or not and being able to adjust. You would get so much better, so much faster. Now, if you don't know exactly how to fix it or improve it, I'm right there in the app with you, talking you through exactly what to feel and how much to do it in every single part of your swing. Get your free 2-week trial of Swing Coach today. The link is down below. I promise this is gonna change how you practice golf forever.
This kind of freaks people out, but basically, Eric, chipping and pitching, I haven't looked at the ball in about 10 years.
Yeah, it's a crazy statement.
I know, that's crazy, right? Well, you got a 200% better chance if you're looking at it. Well, I look in front, and here's how I show that. I think most golfers look at the back of the ball, and we've programmed ourselves to square the club up where our eyes are looking. So we're programmed to square it up at the back of the ball with driver, 7 irons, 5 irons, and all that. But when we turn this thing over, we've got all this junk, mass of metal back here. And if it doesn't hit just right, it can dig, it can skull, it can bounce, it can do all kinds of things. But if I put my eyes to the front and I'm programmed to square the club up where my eyes are looking, now I get ball first every time. That's how I can assume I'm gonna strike it solid. And if I had to get this up and down to win the Masters, I'm not looking at the ball. I quit looking at the ball a while ago. So
looking in front and then focused on like where the club head's finishing.
I'm putting my eyes right there.
Okay.
So now I'm pretty much guaranteed to hit it solid because ball's gonna get struck first and then go to that finish, rock, pivot, and finish.
Yeah, nice, lots of solid chip shots. And so these are the things that both Greg and I, over our combined 50 plus years, have seen to work over and over and over and over for priority number 1, which is solid contact. So of course we're focused on the follow through, right? But like what we do on the way back and how we set up does matter. We talked about the backswing. What are the things that have stood the test of time? And there's one I think that stood out for both of us, which was the swing plane. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really poor chippers, me for a long time, maybe you, who specifically get too far inside on the way back, which is big trouble. We'd like to keep the club on plane. Greg, if you take a setup for me, and just a simple version here for you guys, we put a little stick in the ground behind us. And on plane is just like, if we look at the plane, go ahead and take your setup, Greg. If we look at this shaft plane that Greg's on here, we want to have that ride basically right up that. If you look at a good chipper or pitcher, that club is going to ride right up that thing. And I know you mentioned as we were doing that, Greg, you just mentioned something with the club face.
Yeah, it's like I want the face to keep looking at the ball.
I want the face to keep looking at the ball.
Check out Cam Smith pitching, one of the best in the world. That face is always looking at the ball. And you mentioned earlier, getting it inside. Well, those that pull it inside, well, one, you're shallow. You're just exposed to hosel in the heel.
Hello.
And probably, if you go back, we talked about distance away. I think a lot of guys that don't chip so good are too far away. And if you get too far away, it's going to be easy to rip it inside. So, look, I am really close to this ball. I am all the way down at the bottom of Golf Pride in my grip because I want that face to keep looking at the ball.
Yeah. And that's a really important one. Yeah, another nice shot. Just loads of golf balls within a little tap-in range for Greg. That's something I've changed my tune on in the past, maybe compared to when I started. I used to have people roll the face open more so that they could use the bounce more, and learn the hard way that makes contact for a lot of people more difficult. And so not only keeping the club on plane, and we'll show some people on the screen, you can see people doing that. Obviously it depends on the shot we're trying to hit. If we were hitting high and over a bunker, things change. But a stock chip pitch shot that we're hitting here on plane with the club face staying more square.
Yeah, and you would think, as long as I've been playing golf, I might have a whole lot of tricky stuff going on down here with the club face and setup and, adjusting the face angle. And actually, the longer I go, the more basic I keep it. Like I don't necessarily open the face unless it's an absolute emergency. Here's why: the toe cuts and the heel digs. The heel digs. And so if you expose this heel, and bring it right, it's gonna dig. And so the toe will cut. So this is a new wedge, but probably in about 6 months, it's gonna be worn out on the toe. I'm gonna chip it off the toe a lot of times.
Yes.
Yes, so the toe cuts, the heel digs, I'm close to it, leave the face looking at the ball.
And a big, nice crispy shot again, Greg. A big piece you had mentioned with the setup, we can just do that right now too, which is if we have, we did a golf score earlier this summer, for example, and there was 8 golfers lined up, and 7 out of the 8 that were struggling with chipping, all were set up exactly too far from the ball, handle very low, and lots of tilt.
Yes, tilt backwards.
Tilt backwards.
Yes, and again, if you were playing with me, you might not pick up on this unless I told you, but watch this little move right here. I'm gonna kind of do my thing here. See that right there?
Yeah.
Just that little knee lean.
Yep.
That's just my trigger to tell me get in front, get on the front side, get the weight front, get the weight in the left, which is gonna give me a better chance to get a steeper angle and a solid strike.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have this little bitty knee lean right there.
And when Greg, another nice one.
Rock, pivot, and blast.
These things actually work 50 plus years. Another thing when Greg does, I think this is important to note with this. Come on back in here. Don't go anywhere, Greg. You're in, baby. The setup position, right, to make these things easier, we said we want the club on plane or maybe even a little outside. Closer to the ball helps facilitate that.
Absolutely.
We said the heel digs and the toe glides, right? Shaft a little more higher for most people at setup would help that as well. And then the weight being forward. Now, a lot of people, when they do weight forward, this is what I saw at the schools, like a full swing, they'll bump their hips forward. And that's not what we're talking about as much. When you bump your hips forward, now my upper body's tilted too far back, low point back, fats and thins. As we get our weight forward, you want the upper center and lower center to move together, right?
Yes, so if I had this shaft going straight up my shaft and I set up to this like I'm gonna pitch it, there's that little knee lean.
Yeah,
so see where that shaft went? That shaft's out front.
That's right.
I'm not back here unless I'm, got a crazy emergency shot.
Right.
So just for basic pitches, I want touch. I want to hit it solid with touch and less hands. There's that little knee lean forward.
Yep. Awesome. Beautiful demonstrations, Mr. Jones. I think that's a pretty good summary of the things we wanted to get across. You and I could talk about this for probably 3 hours,
yes.
But to not give them a 3-hour video, we talked about the main goal being solid contact. Okay, priority number 1, solid contact. Maybe we'll do more about other shots as we go. But to give ourselves the best chance of solid contact, starting with the through the ball pieces, the club face staying still, integrity of the Y. In order to do that, our body's got to pivot some. We talked about the knee and the chest. We're not trying to go down or stay down. There can be some natural extension. From the down the line angle with the backswing, it's important that we stay on plane and the face stays square to that plane.
Yes, I want this face looking at the ball. As soon as I do that, it's not looking at the hole anymore. It's not looking at the ball anymore, and I'm probably in trouble.
That was one of the things that has not lasted the 50 years combined coaching. That lasted a couple of years for me. So backswing on plane with the face there, setup position, right? When in doubt, a little closer, shaft a little more vertical, weight centers more forward. Now that's a lot of stuff, but that's designed to be like a complete guide.
It's a complete guide. And for anybody that's watching this, I double dog dare you.
Come on, Greg.
To put your eyes an inch in front of the ball and hit some chip shots. You will hit it solid.
I'll tell you what.
You will hit it solid.
Try that out. If you try that, leave a comment down below and let us know how that went for you with your chipping. If you haven't seen Greg's videos, we're going to put a link at the top of the description down there for Greg's channel. Obviously, you can see he's a great coach. You're going to love his videos. Go hop over and do that. But give this a shot and leave us a comment down below. Which one of these pieces resonate with you? What piece worked for you? And try that eyes in front. If you're bold, like Mr. Jones,
try it.
Come on. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Any questions, leave a comment down below. If you want to watch more like this, check out this video next.